Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Briefing with Libri, and today I'm going to be doing another process video for Scrap Diva Designs. Today I'll be using two of her dies from the most recent release. The new release will be coming soon, so I can't wait to share with you guys. But these are the last two dies that I'll be sharing with you guys, and it's going to be the bunny, ice cream bunny die, which is this one right here. You guys, this die is the cutest little die ever. And then this one right here, which is the A2 pocket. And I decided not to use this lattice type print on the inside, but you can definitely use it. Maybe I'll share another video of me using this, but for today I'm not going to be. I really wanted the pattern paper that I chose to show. So I will be sharing that with you guys as well. Okay, so I've already prepped some things here to the side. I've already made a couple of embellishments as well, but this is the paper that I use. You guys have seen this already if you've been sticking around with my Easter or like spring crafting. I'm using the Easter paper crafting paper pad from Joann's, which again, if you guys have not seen my Joann's haul, I will, link it somewhere, but I did share this paper pad from there, and they are closing and going out of business, so if you guys see this, I do suggest picking it up. It's a really cute Easter paper pad. Sorry. But yeah, it's a really cute Easter paper pad. And then my haul video from yesterday, I did pick up this neutral paper pack from the Paper Studio at Hobby Lobby, and I did use a bluish gray paper from here as well to go with the paper pad, the patterns that I chose, I mean. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be creating some ice cream embellishments. I've already made 3. I'll be making 1 on camera, and then I will also be creating a little pocket folder to house the embellishments in case you want to send some to your pen pals or any of your crafty friends. So let's start with the little ice creams because I do want to get that done first before I create the packaging for it. So these are the embellishments and how they turned out. How cute are these? I left them pretty plain because if you're going to send this to someone, I wanted to allow them to at least embellish a couple of them. And 2 of them I also added no faces to. So the blue ones, I didn't add any, any faces to it. But I did add diamond dots, and for this one, they can embellish this like however they like, and then this one as well. So this one has a little face, and they are shakers. If you guys can see the little shaker bits, and then here is the little ice cream, and they can embellish this however they would like. Okay, so we got the 2. I got 1 large one, 1 small one that are blue, and then I have a green one that's small, and then I'll be doing a large one with you guys. So let me go ahead and just start because this will take some time. Alright, so let's go through the die. So you're going to obviously have a large and a small size. So this is your large one, this is your small one, and then you have this little piece right here that has an outline. That outline is where you're going to be creating the shaker part where you need to put foam on top of it. Or you can die cut this about like maybe 6 times out of thick cardstock and stack them up and create a shaker that way, however you want to do it. But you'll have that those pieces, and then you do have this right here which looks like a layering piece. So as you guys can see, this has 2 cuts, so there's 1, and then this is a solid piece. This is the one that you want to use with your acetate or transparency sheet, whatever you're choosing to use, and you'll be using that to cut die cut that out to create the shaker part as well. Then you got the little ears that you would layer on top of the ear part here, and then the waffle cone. So I hope that makes sense. It's pretty self-explanatory if you've made shakers before. So love this die, cutest little die ever. So let's go ahead and just get started here. So as you can see, I do have my acetate die cut out of this solid piece, and I did use like a transparency sheet. I'll have mine linked down below and my Amazon storefront. I love die cutting these for shakers because they're just so much easier to die cut with. I like to use acetate for bigger projects, but shakers I'm usually using transparency sheets because they work just as great. And then I have my little waffle cone. I have the base. And then I have this little banner here. This banner came from the paper pad, and I just cut it up, you know, with my scissors, and I just fussy cut it. And it just says Happy Easter with a gold foil border. Okay, and then the little pink bunny ears and the face, which the face I will keep on the plate for now before I lose those. But the, sorry. Okay, but the bunny ears, I did put those on foam tape, so I'm just going to glue those down. And I'm going to use hot glue, because I like to add that for extra security. And I just turned it on, so hopefully it's hot enough. Yeah, this will be coming out on a Saturday. Hopefully you guys will be able to see this. But look how cute it's already looking, and that's just by adding the ears. So there's that. And then I am going to glue this ice cream part down because I want it to dry. Normally what I would do is just, you know, have these pieces sitting under a couple acrylic blocks because I want it to be able to stick onto that transparency sheet. And that's another thing. For some reason with transparency sheets, it glues a lot quicker than it does with acetate. So that's another thing that I like about transparency sheets. Acetate's thicker too, so when you create your shaker, there's just more like layers, I guess it looks like it's just the, what am I trying to say? It just looks thicker. It doesn't look as clean, so that's why I like to use this. But these are literally those sheets that, I don't know if you remember, like back in the day when we used to use a huge projector and you would have to use transparency sheets and a marker to do all your work, or for the teachers to show their work. Yeah, that's basically what it is. Okay, so I'm just going to take an acrylic block and literally just place that on there and let it sit there for a second. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this piece down, which is my waffle cone. You can put whatever piece down you feel comfortable doing first. I don't mind putting this down first. And you literally just have to line it up with the bottom and the sides, and everything else will line up perfectly. But I don't know if you guys can see that embossing on there. It is so cute. It's like that perfect addition that you need on that waffle cone. Okay, so there's that. And then while that is still drying, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just use my finger because this isn't all that like thick, or you can use a bone folder. And I'm just gonna, you know, break the fibers on here and kind of bend it like a banner. So I'm gonna kind of go, actually, what do I want to do? Yeah, I'm gonna go upwards on the right and then down on the left. And I'm just gonna kind of bend the corner down. And I'm just shaping the banner piece to look more like to make it look more like a banner, so that it's not just flat. So this is what it's gonna look like. As you can see, so it's kind of bent. And it just gives your project more dimension when you glue it down. So I'm going to do that and glue that down in a little bit. But I did put a foam tape behind this left side since it's, you know, raised. And that's just to help keep it down. So I'm going to use a foam dot. Okay, so now I got that on a foam dot. I'm going to put this to the side. This should be good now. It's pretty cold here, so yeah. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some foam tape. Now, I always like to use these foam strips. I will link these down below, but these foam strips are not thin enough. So it's up to you if you want to use foam and die cut it. You can totally do that, that's fine. These strips are just a tad bit thick for this dimension here. So I do use my scissors and I cut them in half, and they work fine. So I'm just going to cut these. And these are my scrapbook.com foam tapes. I will have this link down below. I always have a couple different packs that you can purchase. I do recommend getting the larger pack, which is I think a 320. they come in handy, you guys, and it's better to have them out, or like to have them in your craft room, than to have to like reorder them and wait for them to come in. So I usually put both, or there's 3 different packs that you can get, but I do recommend the 320. Okay, so for me, when I do, you know, foam tape around a very wiggly piece, if you know what I mean. As you can see, there's just curves and turns everywhere. So I'm gonna just take off the backing and the top part. So I'm just gonna do both of these. Okay, so now you're left with your foam tape. Where is my... Okay, so now you have... They're sticky on both sides, just be careful. But once you stick it down... I'll lift this up. It's just so much easier. I don't know if you guys can see. It's just so much easier to move around that ice cream piece, because there's no solid paper blocking it. So I'm going to go all around this piece, and then we're going to create the shaker. Okay, you guys, so as you can see, it's on there. So now it's ready to get put onto our ice cream cone. And I am going to fill this up. I do have my mix here already. I just used some flowers from my stash and some sequins. So just create a little mix that'll match. I did do purple and yellow, so there's no purple and yellow in here, but I really wanted to add some more colors to it. So I did add those. I have quite a bit in here. Ooh. Maybe I have too many. Okay, I'm going to use my tool, and I'm going to make sure that all of these are spread out, because I don't want them to get stuck on top of each other and then they don't shake. So take some out if you feel you need to. Okay, so now that I got my mix on there, again, you just want to make sure that they're in the middle, kind of spread out, and then also not on the edge where your foam tape is going to be on. And you're just going to take it and line it up to the bottom. So I take the bottom of the ice cream little scoop, is what it is, and I just line it up to the little curves here. And once lined up, just push down. Cool, perfect. So here it is. You guys can see a little shaker. So cute. Love, love, love these little bunny ice creams. They make perfect tags, you guys. So if you guys have Easter baskets, get this die, because these would make really cute Easter tags. Okay, so now that we got that, I'm gonna go ahead and embellish this really quick. So if you guys remember, I put a little foam dot back here, and I'm just gonna add hot glue to this and this part that's gonna touch the waffle cone. And I'm going to glue that down. Perfect. Now if you guys can see, it's raised, the little banner part. Cute. Okay. So now that that's on, I did add a couple of little flowers, so I'm going to do that again here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add a couple flowers here. Oh, I forgot the little face. I like to add the little face before I actually glue this on. I like it when it's flat. Even before I put the foam tape on, I will usually put my face down. So I'll put the face and the outline on and then put it under a acrylic block so I know the face is stuck on there. I totally forgot about the face, so we'll add that face on, but let me just go through my little flowers and pick out a couple. I went with pink and white there, so I'll do probably yellow and a white for this one since there's pink. Let me grab a tool. Alright, so now I'm going to add these down here. I think I'll do one here because there's already yellow here. I don't want this to get too overwhelming with yellow. And then there's just going to be a random white. So I'll put this down in the corner. Okay, come on. There we go. There we go. Cute. Alright, now I'm going to put the face. So this is the face. So I'm going to do the exact same thing to my other green one. Okay guys, so here is the face on the larger one. So I cut it out of this cream colored paper, and the face, what I like to do is I like to start from the bottom and moving up, just because I feel like I can get it straight doing it that way. But I don't know if you guys can see this little mouth right here. I like to line that up with this little curve in the middle, and then I just work my way up on however high I want my eyebrows and my eyes to be. So these are the 2 green ones, and then I have 2 blue, and I embellished one and then left the other one embellished. So let's go ahead and start with the packaging. Alright, so again, we're going to be using this A2 pocket die, and you can die cut this lattice. I don't know if you guys can see, but there's 1, 2, 3 dies. You can choose to die cut this layer with the center piece right here, which is the die cut layer, or you can choose not to. So let me show you guys. So this is the, let's see, this is the pocket that you would die cut, and each of the dies you only have to die cut once, depending on what kind of project you're working with or working on, obviously. So you would have to die cut that out of cardstock or pattern paper, and then you have this layering piece. So this is the layering piece that you could choose to die cut the lattice print on or not. I wanted this pattern to show through all the ways, so I decided not to use it, but it's, you know, personal preference, it's up to you. So these are my little pockets that I'm going to be using on the inside of my little pocket folder to hold my embellishments. And I already put one together. We'll glue this one together as well. I also have a lot of layering pieces, you guys. So I have these 2 right here, which are going to hold my embellishments. And again, same pattern paper pad. And this one here measures 4 inches by 7, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 4 by 7 inches. And this again is to fit inside the pocket, holding the embellishments. And then I have layering pieces here, which these measure. So this measures 4.5 by 7.25. And, but yeah, 7.25, and that's going to get layered onto here. So you're going to cut this out 4 times, 2 for the inside and 2 for the outside. I'll have the measurements on the screen or in the description box for you guys. But again, it's going to be 4.5 by 7.25. And then you have this center piece. Now for the middle piece, I did cut those out to 3/8 of an inch by 7.25. So 7.25 by 3/8. And you can get this all out with one 12-inch piece. So just cut your paper down to 7.25 and then cut your sheets, and you'll have like an excess sheet left from that. So again, you're going to die cut all these 3 pieces out of a front cover and the spine, as well as the inside cover and the spine. So I have those. And for the pocket itself, yeah, let me show you guys how I made this pocket. So easy because of this die. You don't have to make your pockets, but if you don't have this pocket die, you can create your own pockets. So let's go ahead and bring in the scoring board. Okay, so here's my 12 by 12 inch scoring board. And what you're going to do is you're going to cut your piece down to 10 inches by 7.5. This is my measurement that I wanted to go off of because I just wanted, you know, a little bit excess on the top and a little excess here on the inside of the book. The reason being is because when I put the pocket in, I want to make sure that this is going to close nicely and have a little bit of space, if that makes sense. So that's the reason why I chose this measurement. You can choose whatever measurement you'd like. The pockets themselves measure 4.25 inches. It measures 4.25 inches square. Or no, 4.25, I would say, by 4 3/8. Okay, so 4¼ inches long, and then height is 4 3/8. So that would be your pockets. Due to my embellishments, I decided to go with 7½ inches for my height. I hope that makes sense. All right. And how did I come up with my dimensions? What I did was I figured out how big I wanted my first piece to be, right? So I knew I wanted it to be, because of my pocket, I knew I wanted it to be 3/4 of an inch because I wanted at least 1/2 of an inch from the spine. So what I did was I added my 4¼ plus 1/2 an inch. So that makes it 4 3/4 this way, right? So one piece here is 4 3/4 by 7½. You're going to do 4 3/4 plus however big you want your spine to be. You can do 1 inch, 1/2 an inch, whatever it is. I decided to go with 1/2 an inch. So I added 1/2 inch plus another 4 3/4. So 4 3/4 plus 4 3/4 plus my 1/2 inch is 10 inches. But if you decide to do 4 3/4, 4 3/4, and an inch, then it would be 10½. I hope that makes sense. Really do. It's kind of like my box video. You're really just measuring, you know, get your main piece that you want to measure and just add them all. Draw it out, add them. I have a little drawing here. This is literally just my sketch. But as you guys can see, hope that makes sense. Let's just get to it. Okay, so what I did here was I went ahead and I took my scoring tool, or my bone folder, and I scored at 4 3/4, and then turn it around and do 4 3/4 on the other side. The reason why I do that is because that ensures that, you know, each side is exactly 4 3/4. Not all scoring boards match if you were to do 4 3/4 and 5 1/4. So that's the only reason why I do that, is just to make sure that they are the same. So that's it. That's all you need for your scoring. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and fold this now. And this pink paper came from the American Crafts Pastel, I think. I'll link it down below if it's still available. But yeah, I shared it in one of my previous videos, so if I remember, I will link it down below. But here it is. It's literally just like a book. And what we're going to do is add our pockets. So before you add your pockets, you want to glue all your pattern papers down. So let me glue this down. And I'm going to use liquid glue for all of this. Okay guys, so I already put a pocket down, but this is what it's going to look like once you have all your papers on your little book. I've made one of these before, so I will have a little card up here for you guys to click on. I'll also have one, like a little link down below for you guys as well. I've made one where I had like, I think 4 pockets total. So I have had a video like this prior. And I just remember it was late at night during COVID, I think, and I was pregnant. And the quality wasn't the greatest, but you guys, it was one of my favorite little booklets I've made. Okay, so now to add this pocket, there's 3 little flaps here. You're going to add glue. Add as much glue that you can, because obviously you're going to be putting things in and out of it. So just add as much glue as you can. Okay, and then I'm going to flip that over, and I'm lining up this corner to the pattern paper, not all the way to the edge of the pink part, but to the pattern paper. I'll show you guys a closer look once I glue this. Okay, I'm going to use my bone folder to make sure that this is down good. Alright, look at how cute that is. But here it is. I put it up against the pattern paper because it would look weird if you would put it against this edge and then the pattern paper doesn't go all the way. So I lined it up with the pattern paper, and that's what it's looking like. And once you close it, and you can also include in a closure and everything like that, but I'm just you know, creating something really simple. You guys can do so much with this to create closures, but again, I'm just doing something really simple so you guys can guide, so that way you guys can kind of get the gist of the idea that I'm trying to come up with. Alright, next we're going to basically package up these embellishments. So we're going to be putting 2 and 2 on each one. And because these are flat, you can create these little, you can create like little hinges to make these more 3D where they pop up. If I have the time to, I can create another video of me showing you how I would do that. But, you know, because these are kind of dimensional and this doesn't open up too much, I'm going to put the ones that don't have the banners at the bottom and the ones with the banners on top. When I made my spine, I made sure that these were going to fit at least 1/2 inch, which it does. It's going to be exactly 1/2 inch, so that way they're not too squished and this isn't like bulging out like this, if that makes sense. So if you know if you're going to have like thicker embellishments or something inside, I would go with a thicker spine, but this 1 inch does it well for me. And what I love about using liquid glue, you guys, this thing turns into chipboard. There's so many layers on here. It's like really thick. I love it. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue here. So I have these removable clear adhesive dots that I use, you know, to display some stuff, but I'm going to use these for my embellishments as well. So sometimes I use pop dots and acetate. For today, I'm going to be using removable adhesive dots since I have them. And these are just from Hobby Lobby for $2.99. So these are perfect for embellishments. Before I did the acetate thing, I did like to use, you know, removable dots. So let me go ahead and, oops, oh my gosh. I am going to put one adhesive dot on the back here. And at least when they remove this, they can, you know, rub off the adhesive. But I'm going to put this one, I think I'm going to put it on the outside because the pocket here is empty. So I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to do a blue one right here. Okay, put these back. Alright, so now that I got these on there, let me show you guys. How cute is this display of embellishments? Again, you can use acetate if you would like, or you can use pattern paper. With acetate, I like to use foam dots, and then I like to use a little bit of hot glue, because once they pull it off, at least it's dimensional, or they can take out the foam tape. So let's go ahead and slide this in. Yeah, just because it has that little lip at the bottom, or the little hidden, or you know, the flap glued there, it's wanting to get stuck on there, but you just gotta open it up a little bit. And it'll go on there. There we go. Okay, so here it is with the embellishments inside. And it has that extra piece of pattern paper. And what's fun about this, using pattern paper, is once they take out the removable sticky dots, then, you know, they could reuse this paper that you use. So here's how it looks with the pockets. And then once it closes, perfect fit. So just try to remember, or try to measure your embellishments and see how thick they are, because you don't want it to be too open. You can tie a piece of ribbon on this to decorate it farther. I'm probably going to use a couple die cuts to decorate this, and we'll see how it goes. Let me try to embellish this a little bit so that way I could show you guys, and then I'll be right back. Alright guys, so I did some simple embellishing. I might do more off camera. I only did this just to show you guys how you can kind of embellish it. So I added this little cut apart that I did, that I cut out from one of the 12x12s. And then I just added some flowers and sequins on the outside. And then the inside, I just added this, another one of those little cut aparts. And then this one as well, that I fussy cut. And it just says Happy Easter. But that's all I did for now. Just wanted to keep it simple. I'm just a little mad at myself because I made this crooked. I used hot glue and then my daughter called my name, and then I turned around and it got stuck, and there was just no time for me to adjust it. So it is what it is. I can probably find some ways to kind of cover up the crooked part. The little frames, the little corners here are straight. It's the paper that's crooked, so it's fine. It's handmade, and most likely going to keep this for reference. But yeah, you guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope it inspired you guys to make one yourself. If you guys are interested in the dies that I have used today, I will have the names of those down below, as well as my affiliate link, so you guys can go ahead and check out the information in the description box. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's tutorial and little process video, and I hope that you guys have a great day, whatever day it is that y'all are watching this, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!